Hey, man.
Hey.
You hear me okay?
Yeah. Wow, this is
oh,
hold on. I gotta switch this here. Wow, this is the least amount of people we've ever had. We'll give it a minute, but
anybody else out there?
No one's in here yet.
Wow. I was running behind. I barely made it on time.
It's all good. Yeah, no worries. It's
everybody's got that hump day sloth going.
Yeah, it's funny. I like kind of prepared for this one. Like no one's here.
It's just me and you.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Here we go. We got some people coming in.
MJ.
Hey.
Morning.
Morning.
Where the hell did I put my... Yeah, typical. I'm just sitting here reaching around going, where the hell did I put my glasses? And they're hanging from my shirt.
Hey, what's up, Jeffrey?
Morning, guys.
Morning, Jeffrey.
Either way.
Okay.
You got a sweet setup there, man. You look like a podcaster.
Yeah, man. I don't do any of the actual live.
Yeah.
Technically
Yeah. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, wait for anybody else who might be coming in.
Hey, Korey, I'd be curious. What would you estimate are the number of production hours you put into to one podcast? Like before and after being on the air, and like what's it take you to put together one kind of from soup to nuts?
So the Drum Brigade podcast is really easy because it's not scripted, and so it's just the amount of time it takes that's put in is finding guests, and then we've kind of gotten the production down to a science. It's pretty easy, and we've cut some corners. So basically, for Drum Brigade podcast, we have somebody who does the booking for us. So that's really that took away most of the time, and then Phil does the editing for to send me the file to upload. So the show is like 2 hours normally, and then Phil does any bleeps or anything like that. Anytime I have to cut it and be like, hey, I can't say that on the air or whatever. Phil will take that out. He'll send me the MP3, and then it's about 30-40 minutes to put it up on to everything, type out descriptions and all that stuff, and then it gets we've started I used to have to edit a video for Instagram, and that would take a long time, and then but now we just go live on Instagram, and then we only put the interview live. So we've cut some corners like that where it would be like a 3-hour 4-hour process, not even counting the show.
All that post-production especially.
Yeah. So Acceptance podcast is a little bit more because I actually write like an outline. So it's more like me giving a talk than just me winging it.
Right.
And but then, same thing. I was editing the video to post on YouTube, and then yesterday I just went live and figured out how to have samples for the intros and stuff like that. So it was a little bit rocky, but that cut so many corners not having to edit a video for YouTube, and so but once I have a script written, then it's easy. It's just uploading it takes 30-40 minutes, maybe an hour, and then you're good.
Yeah. I was just always curious. I don't have any interest in doing a podcast or anything, but it always, for as many as there are that are out there, it seemed to me I was like, wow, that could be a really labor-intensive post-production thing. I've always wondered about that.
Well, once you get it, once you have your host site and you get it uploaded, then it's easy. But getting to that point is hard. And it was a lot of trial and error for us. I don't know how we figured it out, because it's not super complicated, but we just did a lot of research and like, oh, we need a thing called an RSS feed, and that takes your podcast and puts it on all the platforms, but then it has to be approved by all these platforms. And once it gets approved, then you're on everything. So.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that it's I'm familiar with RSS technology and other applications. I didn't realize that that's how podcast syndicated is via RSS.
Yeah. All you need is RSS,
cool.
And then like if you get on a network, all they need is your RSS feed too, and they'll just put you. For the most part, I think like if you're on a major network like Podcast One or something, then you have to probably do it at their studio and stuff. But gotcha. I've had like at least one, like. Podcast network, which I got to hit them up about Acceptance Podcast, and they're like, yeah, just send us over your RSS feed and then we'll share it on all of our platforms, so it's pretty cool.
Well, thank you. Sorry to take time away from the group.
Oh, it's all good.
Curious.
It's all good. I hope you guys are doing good this morning. We got a small group today. We are streaming live though, so we might have some other guys on there as well, just watching or maybe participating, who knows. So just real quick, those guys, anybody in the chat room, if you want to join us at Chops and Coffee, just hit the link, fill out the form on drumbrigade.com, Chops and Coffee page, and then you can come in the room and interact with us and warm up with us, share some stories, all that jazz. For you guys, thank you guys for joining this morning. It's great having you guys here. This week we've been talking about failure. My podcast was about failure. We talked about failure on Monday, except there was no audio for Chops and Coffee on the stream. So that sucks. But anyways, I hope there's audio today. So failure, I was talking about my failures. We shared stories about failures, but I shared the story about my drum teacher. My drum teacher was the drummer on Pat Sajak's show, not Gary Shandling's show. I don't even know if Gary Shandling had a show. But yeah, and I shared the story of him.
Wait, you studied with Donna White?
I wish. I probably wouldn't have learned anything, though. Or maybe I would have learned way more. Who knows? No, when Pat Sajak had a show like in the 80s and 90s, he had a late night show, and my drum teacher was something Scott, I think, Tom Scott or something like that. Was a sax player, band leader, and he was the drummer. Anyways, I was thinking about that a lot, and then talked about that a lot on the podcast this week, and talking about failures, and how people use their failures to be successful. And it started getting me thinking, like, what can we liken this to? And so for drumming, we have to fail a lot of times to know how to learn how to do something or succeed. And I was thinking about how, like, an archer, if it was your first time being an archer and you attempt to shoot a target, but you don't pull the bow all the way back far enough, and then the arrow just kind of, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I got to pull it back farther so then I can get my trajectory right. So then you pull it back all the way, but you don't aim, and then you shoot it over the target. So now you've done it too far. So then you're like, oh, I got to aim. So now you failed 2 times, and you're like, oh, okay, but I learned something from those 2 failures. So now you pull it back all the way, you know how hard to pull it back, and then you aim, and you know how to aim it at the target, and then boom, bullseye. But the lesson in that is, like, what if we stopped at the first try? If we're just, like, not pulling it back far enough, boom, and you're like, I guess I don't have it, and then you move on to something else. Well, you never would have hit your target. Or what if you stopped at the second try? Okay, I know how to pull it back, but I don't know how to aim. I guess I don't have aim in my family, so I guess I'm done. It doesn't work like that. So you had to fail twice to learn that lesson of how to succeed. And that's how it is for drumming. That's how it is for life. That's how it is for business. That's how it is for any successful person always talks about failure and how they learn from their failure, and then it helped them to succeed. So with drumming, especially with drumming, for me, when I think about it like that, like, man, I just haven't hit the target yet, but I'm still learning what not to do or what I have to do to reach that target. For like in a very literal sense, maybe it's like your hand, like your stick control is off. Maybe one hand is twisted like this and one hand is like this, and you can't do a rudiment correctly. Or maybe, your sticks are uneven, or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. So maybe you're putting the kick drum in the wrong place, and you're not counting out loud, or who knows? It can be a whole list of things with drumming. We're doing so many things at once that it can be like that. So, anyways, the moral of the story is don't give up on the first one. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Keep challenging yourself and view the failure as a challenge, but learn from that challenge, and then we can succeed like the most successful people in the world. That's just a little encouragement and a little food for thought this morning. This is also, like what I said, the theme this week is how we succeed from our failures and all that stuff. That being said, I have a little bit more difficult warm-ups today, just a little bit more difficult. So first one's easy. We've done a million times. Second one we haven't done. It's brand new, but it's easy. And then everyone can do that one. I'll show you the concept on that. Third one is very difficult. And then I don't have a chop this week, but I do have a challenge this week. Or this Wednesday. So challenge this Wednesday. No chop challenge. Okay, so we'll start with that. So let me pull up my timer and get my metronome, and then we'll get started. Where's my, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I think this cold weather has everybody like, well, it's cold in California. Sorry. I don't know if it's cold out there, but it's freezing out here.
I'm guessing MJ's going to laugh at our definition of cold.
I know.
We should qualify it San Diego cold, right?
It's
Oh my
34.
God, it's 45 degrees. I'm freaking out. And that's me, by the way. I'm making fun of it.
It's warmed up to 34 right now.
Oh my God. Okay. Never mind what I said. It's like 45 or 50 out here, and I'm like, it's freezing. I can't take it. I was up all night shivering into my covers. Yeah, I think that's the California people. There's storms rolling through and all that. The California people are just staying in bed. Nobody wants to get up early. I personally invited a couple people last night, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna try to be there. That sounds cool." And nothing. So it's all right. This is the core. This is the core group right here. Core members. This is the core Chops and Coffee. All right, let's do 16th notes, singles, doubles, paradiddles, one measure each. You can keep an ostinato if you want. I'm gonna try to keep an ostinato, so I'm gonna play my my kick on the beat, and I'm gonna play my hi-hat off the beat, playing eighth note ostinato. 16th notes, singles, doubles, paradiddles. That's going to just get us started, all right? Singles, doubles, paradiddles. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. I'm going to start with my ostinato. Sorry, I forgot to mention. And here we go. Hands, 1, 2, ready, go. Doubles, paradiddles. Up, we got a newcomer. Hold on. I'm gonna stop this because this is somebody brand new. Oh man. Sorry guys to interrupt this, but. Good morning, Rebecca. I don't know if you can hear us, but we just.
Morning.
Welcome to Chops and Coffee. We got a small group today, but we're just doing a warm-up. We just talked about failure and succeeding from your failures. So this is streaming live, and you're welcome to go back and listen to the morning monologue if you want. If you want. So this morning we're doing our first warm-up is singles, doubles, and paradiddles. Singles. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Doubles and paradiddles. Right, left, right, left, right, left, left. All one measure each as 16 notes. And if you want, you can keep an eighth note ostinato on your feet. So playing eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And if not, hands are just fine. Singles, doubles, paradiddles as 16 notes. Here we go, guys. 1, 2, ready. I'm starting with my ostinato. And here we go with our hands. 1, 2, ready, go. Doubles. Paradiddles. Singles. Doubles. Oh my goodness. We got people coming in late. Keep it going. Singles, doubles. Singles, doubles, paradiddles with an eighth note ostinato. Nat. 1, 2, singles, go. Doubles. Paradiddles. Singles. Doubles. Paradiddles. Singles. Paradiddles. Let's go one more. All right. If that ostinato is too easy for you guys, you can also do like a samba ostinato. So, okay. And then singles, doubles, paradiddles over that. That's pretty hard for me at 7 in the morning. Let's try it at let's try it a little faster. How's everybody holding up? Is that tempo good? Too fast? Everyone all right? All right, let's go. Here we go. Singles, doubles, paradiddles, eighth note ostinato first. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Here comes our hands. 1, 2, ready, go. Doubles. Paradiddles. Singles. Two more. One more. Okay. Now, if you guys want to take that up even another notch, you're doing the singles, doubles, paradiddles, 16 notes. You're playing the samba thing, and you're challenging every facet, all 4 of your limbs. You want to take that up a notch, say the alphabet in between every stroke. Or with a buddy, you say one letter, they say one letter. You say one letter, they say one letter.
Early in the morning, man.
That's way early in the morning, but if you want to challenge yourself, go for it. Then you're using like every ounce of your brain.
Hey, Korey, you just want to make that the Greek alphabet while you're at it?
It's funny that doing that kind of stuff, or if you really want to challenge yourself, play those singles, doubles, paradiddles as triplets while playing an eighth note ostinato, and then say the alphabet. Holy moly!
Alphabet backwards.
Yeah, I don't get that. I can't say the alphabet backwards like in real life. But then if you're drunk, you're supposed to do
sober, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hey.
What's up, Nathan?
Long time.
I'm sorry, Rebecca, I'm putting you on the spot, but Rebecca is an amazing singer, and she sings with a very famous drummer. So
Thank you.
she sings with Sheila E. So yeah. So welcome, Rebecca. And Rebecca plays drums and bass and is like one of the most amazing singers in the world.
Oh, you're too sweet.
And good people.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do a new one here. Now I'm gonna explain this. So let me share with you. Oh, I have to pull it up. Okay. Bear with. Yes.
Oh, I need to close my door.
This one's pretty easy. I'm gonna explain though. It looks confusing because the way they wrote it, but let's see here. Okay, so these are 16th notes, and an eighth note, 16th note, 16th note, eighth note, 16th note, eighth note, two 16th notes, eighth notes. Okay, but anyways, don't pay attention to that. Like we can count it: 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and. But what's throwing me off is those 5, the brackets that say 5, 5, 3, because that tells me that he wants us to play that as like groupings of 5. Like if you were playing a triplet, you know, you want to play that in a grouping of 5. That's not what he's telling us. He's just telling us to count this differently. You can, if it's easier for you to count it like traditionally, 1 E and, you know, all that stuff. But for me, it's groupings of 5 played the same way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. All right. Or
you know, if it's 5, you can do it as a 5-stroke roll.
Well, yes, but this is this exercise it has sticking written for us. You can, if you want, to do a 5-stroke right. That's a left right or right left 5-stroke, and then you have 3 at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Then you do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Now you're gonna do a bunch of 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then 16 notes for 2 measures. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a. Now, if you say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or like you see the number and you say the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then 16 notes, you'll get through this easily. We won't take it super fast right away. For some reason, when I first looked at this sheet music, I was like, why is there 5 brackets? Like, why is there brackets of 5? And then when you start understanding, oh, okay, I get it. Try to pay attention to the sticking because it's alternating. So the first measure is right hand lead, second measure is left hand lead, and then it switches back and forth throughout that over the bar, kind of over the bar 2 measures, and then we're doing 16 notes at the end. We're gonna treat this as a repeat until I say stop. So let's try it at 90. Let me get yeah. 16 notes for 2 measures. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Here we go again. Notes. Last time. Oops. I didn't alternate my sticking. And ready and stop. Nice. All right. Everybody still with me? Good? Okay, let's go faster. Cool. Let me get some coffee, and then let's have at it again.
I got my tea.
Oh, nice. What kind of tea? Green tea?
I got 2.
Oh.
English breakfast.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, an English breakfast lately.
Wow.
Too long.
I forgot to mention this is Pat Perillo. This was from Drumeo. Warm up, chop builder. All right, here we go. One more time. 1, 2, ready, go. 20 and a 2. Start over. Notes. Last time. One, two, ready, stop. Yeah. Not too hard, not too hard. All right, let's go again. 1, 2, ready, go. Again. One more. Very cool. Okay. Now, I have another one. This one is pretty difficult. So this is like some real marching band stuff. So we have a lot of the usual faces in here, but this one is here. I'll just share it with you, and then we'll see if we can get on it. This is this is like the level 2 of the level 1 that we were doing. We've been working on over the past couple weeks. We've been going over. Let's see. So I'm just going to do the first line on this one. If this one doesn't work, if this one's too far like advanced for us, then here, let me share. Where's my Zoom? Then we'll just move on to the challenge today. Okay, so you guys let me know if this is doable. This is double beat. We know how to do double beat. And I'll explain. So this doesn't have that triplet at the end like the first one does. So it's da 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 switch da 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 the switch da 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 da. Then it's both together da 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 da. Then it's Swiss triplets da 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 da, and then it switches. So da 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 da. Triplet, Swiss triplet, Swiss triplet, and then we switch. Da 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 da. Left hand switch, Swiss triplet. All right. At that last half of that last measure is Swiss triplets. I love that. It feels great once we get it, and then it switches to that. What I call cheesy bread, cheesy red pepperoni. All right, so right hand, da 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 da, pepperoni on one hand. Left hand, cheesy bread, pepperoni. Then right hand again, da 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 da. Now we have together, da 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 da, and then we have a rhythm, da 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 da. We have a weird Swiss.
Korey, what line are you on?
I'm on the second line.
Oh, sorry.
Second line, I'm pointing to it like you can see me. Second line down here.
But I don't see the triplets. I think the 3 notes here, but I don't see triplets.
There's no triplets, but they're played. They're Swiss triplets played as 16th notes right here.
3 notes together, not a triplet. It's not 3 over 2.
So sorry, I should have specified. It's Swiss triplet sticking.
Okay.
But it's not so yeah, it's flam right left, flam right left. So yeah, Swiss triplet sticking. Now at the end of the second line, it is another Swiss triplet, but then it has a Swiss triplet with an extra note. So you're playing like 3 notes right there. I don't know why they didn't write it as triplets. So da 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 and then you switch. Da 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 Oh my gosh, that's hard in the morning.
Thanks, Corey. No, just kidding. Hey, hey, what's a Swiss? What you call
Swiss
that?
triplet.
Yeah.
It's a rudiment. It's a one of our rudiments. So it's if you know how to do a flam tap. So here, let me share.
Oh, yeah.
You know how to do a flam tap?
Yeah.
Okay, then add an extra note with the opposing hand after that.
Ah, I see.
So
Okay, thank you.
flam tap and then another tap. Here, let me share with you. It looks like flam tap left, like if I'm doing a right-handed flam tap, or left-hand tap. So they're supposed to be played as triplets. Da 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 da. But they're in this case they're written with 16 notes. If you guys want, you know, this is I understand this is a pretty difficult one, especially in the morning. So if this one is too tough, I can post it in the chat, and then you guys can look at it on your own time, and then we can come back to it on Friday. How does everybody feel about that? We can move on to the challenge. Unless you guys are with it, let's do it. It's up to you guys.
It's either going to be cool or a train wreck. Either way, I'm going to improve something.
Okay. I love the second line. Oops, I can't do that traditional. Together. Then the rhythm. Swiss triplet, extra note. All right, well, let's give it a shot. Let's try it not too fast. So, da 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 switch, da 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 switch it, da 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 together, Swiss triplet, Swiss triplet, then switch. 3 Swiss triplets at the end of that one. Let's do it a little bit slower. All right, here we go. I want you guys to play an ostinato over this. Just kidding. Say the alphabet backwards. All right, here we go. 1, 2. Ready, go. Switch. Switch. Ups. Ah, switch. Ah. Second line. We have not done one like this in this Chops and Coffee. This one's a little bit more rough. All right, let's try one more. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's show up for our day. Let's only go. Let's take this at 100. Let's split the difference. Let's go 95. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Switch. Cheese bread. All right. Is this challenging, everybody? Or is there anybody in this room like going, it's nothing, man. Come on, give us something for real. It's challenging for me. All right. So as I mentioned, no chop today, but I have a challenge for us. If that wasn't challenging enough, Jeffrey seems like he's just like, yeah, piece of cake, bro. Come on. Oh man. All right. So I wanted to just pick up the pace. We've been doing a lot of the same warm ups, so a couple different ones won't hurt nobody. But I'm gonna post that one in the chat. That one, the second exercise in that one is that paradiddle, 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 diddle challenge, and then it switches. It's like in 7. Paradiddle, 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 diddle, paradiddle, 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 diddle. Then it switches. Paradiddle, diddle, paradiddle, 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 diddle, paradiddle, 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 diddle. Yeah, that's a fun one. So I'll post that in the on the Google Doc. All right, here's our challenge. No chop today. We're doing Challenge Wednesday. This is a lot for the morning. I don't want to play this all the way through. I just want to play this one by one. Okay. And then that'll be it, and we'll just hang out for a minute. Let's see, is that it? Yes. Okay. This is 2 lines playing 2 different rhythms with each hands. So we're playing the same rhythm with our right hand. Oops. Where did it go? Let me get rid of this. Okay. Playing the 2 16th notes and an 8th note on our right hand all the way through this whole chart. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. Cheesy bread, cheesy bread, cheesy bread, cheesy bread. But the rhythms on our left hand are changing. So second measure we have quarter notes. Next measure we have 8th notes. Next measure we are playing on the ands of those 8th notes with the rest on the beat. Then we're playing our hands together. Cheesy bread, cheesy bread, cheesy bread, cheesy bread. This next line, the 6th line or 6th measure is kind of like a flam tap. It looks crazy. But it's not written as flams, but it just kind of comes out that way for me. I tried so hard to get my hands to not flam on that one, but it just happens like that. And then we got 2 16th notes, so that's really difficult for me. So 2 16th notes, and then the like 8th note, and then a 16th note after that. So it's like, yeah, alternating. So the bottom line obviously is your left hand. The top line is your right hand, and then you're playing the 16th note E and the on your left hand, and then all the 16th notes with your left hand. I have to start that one separate, like. Okay, so let's take these one by one. Obviously, we just did number 1. Okay, and let's try to like take it at a slow tempo and try to challenge ourselves into getting this.
50, right?
If you want. I was thinking 60.
Okay.
I'm going to play this with 8th notes, so we can, oops. Those are 8th notes. Okay, so here we go. Let's just repeat every measure, and then we'll move to the next measure together. So let's not read this as one chart. Let's just take them one by one. Obviously, number 1 we got. All right, so now let's work on playing our quarter notes with our left hand. Oops. Not bad. Okay. 8th notes. Here we go. 2. Oh my gosh. Let it sink in. Make it feel like the pocket. Great feeling when it sinks in. And we're not thinking about it. Our brain shuts off. Amazing. All right, now let's move on to playing those ands. First 4 lines are doable. First 5 are doable. When we get to the 6th, that messes me up. All right, let's go on to the 5th. Easy stuff. Cheesy breads on both hands. A 2, a ready, a go. This is the flam tap 1, so we're kind of playing opposite rhythms on our hands, but if you think about it like a flam tap without the flam, it seems to work. Here we go. 6 measure. Go. I cannot not flam. Come on. That's more like it. Ah, no. I cannot not flam. I don't know what it is. Ah. Try to let that sink in like a pocket. Make it feel like you own this. You don't have to think about it. There it is. All right. Now I'm going to have to probably take a breath before I go to this next one. This next one's hard. Okay. Now I'm going to try to figure this one out. So, oh, that's it. Yeah. I'm on measure 7. Good. Own it. As soon as I start talking. All right. Let's go to measure 9. Oh, man. Okay, here's number 9. Oh my gosh, I can't do it. There it is. Oh my gosh. All right, and number 10. So we're gonna play all 16 notes with our hands and then that cheesy bread rhythm with our right hand. Left hand, 16 notes, cheesy bread, or 1 and with our right hand. So, That is a challenge on your brain in the morning. All right, let's get it right here. 1, 2, ready, stop. Oh my gosh. I'm awake now. All right, now Nat's going to demonstrate how to do that left-handed. Left-hand lead.
Now, see, I'm doing it right, and I'm left-handed.
You're doing, wait, which hand is your left? Are you doing the different patterns on your right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No. I'm doing the different patterns on my left.
Okay, same here. Yeah, I'm doing it as written.
So now we have to flip it.
Yeah, well, that's another day because I cannot do that right now. I tried doing that last night when I was going over this sheet music, and I was like, okay, I'm getting through it, but it is not sounding like my right. Like I have to work on that for sure. So we'll keep this one in the mix. Maybe we'll do it left-handed on Friday.
This is nice. And then if you switch the right hand also to like you put the 8th note in front of the 16th notes, kind of like a jazz pattern.
Oh yeah.
So I use it a lot.
Yeah,
like
you do
that.
the swing pattern.
Yeah, and I use it like that also.
Yeah. So like if you take number 6 and you flip that upside down, you mean, or like you use that as your pattern. I see what you mean. Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3.
And I do this also on a kit. It actually separates. It sounds a little easier. So what we did was harder because you can't really differentiate the sounds
right
on the pad because we're used to that. But if you do it on a kit, like if you put your hand on the hi-hat or something, you'll definitely be able to hear the difference.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that. Why we like, because I was like, this isn't a chop, but you could take any of these and make these some funky grooves, man, or like change some of them to some ghost notes or anything like that. Any of those. I didn't have a chance to work all that stuff out, but
no, but this is good.
That's cool.
It helps.
Yeah, this is
it takes your brain away from what you're used to.
Exactly.
And like even though we did the same motions, you're like, oh, now I'm thinking about it. So
right. Yeah, I really like it.
Because once you flip it from right hand lead to left hand lead, then it really forces your brain to think differently.
Yeah, so when you do an exercise like that, it's forcing you to basically do every permutation of it, and then that forces your brain to, when you're playing in the moment, there's no limitation. It's like because you've already went through each exercise and you know how to play every version or combo or most combos, and then so it's amazing how those kind of exercises. When I was younger, my teacher would put me through these exercises, and I would just be like, "What's the point? It doesn't make any sense. It's just me playing on a practice pad, And then when you start playing and using it, you're like, "Oh, okay."
My teacher took it one step further. Okay, so he had me read it down normally, right?
Uh-huh.
Then he had me start at the bottom and read the whole thing backwards, coming back up.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Then you read it diagonally.
What?
Yes. What it does, it forces you to move. It forces you to read the measure, but then as you're playing the measure, it forces you to move your eyes ahead and read that measure ahead while you're playing the previous measure.
I never.
So you go down diagonally.
I've heard of
diagonally.
I've heard of some teachers taking it and flipping it upside down, like turning the book and turning it upside down, and then being like,
it forces you to move your eyes. Yeah. So if you're ever in a sight reading situation, you're already prepared because you know how to read ahead. Yeah. But dude, it was crazy. I thought it was crazy until I got into a couple of gigs where I had to actually sight read somebody's book. And then it was like, oh, beautiful. It was like, thank you.
Yeah. So how's everybody going? How's everybody's week going? How's everybody doing? And last week we were sharing some failures. I told you a bunch of mine. Anyways, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing this week?
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything last time on the failures, but it was literally a failure surfing that led me to drumming. I was surfing one day and I'm a new surfer and I'm terrible. And so I got into a wave that I just had no business being in and totally wiped out, and the fin on my surfboard practically sliced off the outside of my left ankle. I had 11 stitches.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I needed something to do for a while to get rid of all my energy, and that's when drums occurred to me.
Nice.
Now the funny thing is, I started right-footed, if you will, because that's how everybody learns. My left foot was injured, and I hit a wall really fast because I didn't know I was a left-footed, left-handed drummer. And so, again, back to failure and frustration. If I had quit or given up, it would have been, oh well, just another musical instrument I don't know how to play. But drums just felt so right to me. I was like, screw it, whatever this failure is, I'm just going to figure it out. And it took me, I think, a year and a half before I figured out, hey, I actually am more comfortable playing left-handed than I am right-handed. So, So if not for failing at surfing, I never would have found drumming. And if not for sticking to the initial frustration and failure, I never would have figured out that I'm left rather than right.
That's awesome. Rebecca, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Were you on that gig where I told this story last week or on Monday that I was on a gig and Ken Turner was on the gig and it was the wedding song, their dance. It was supposed to be like a 12/8 or 6/8 whatever feeling song, and I counted it in 4. And Ken was giving me the what are you doing? That is not the song. And I was really just going for 4/4
just going for it.
Yeah, this is what it is, and we're sticking with this now. I'm not going to start the song over. They're already dancing.
Right. Oh, nice.
So it taught me that I need to prepare.
I guess it reminds me of when I sang for a wedding first dance or something like that, and I think it was one of those interesting. I don't remember the song, but it was one of those the tempo. It's one of those that could have been read either or felt like one way or halftime. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And so I started to sing it like that halftime feel. So I was like, why does it seem like it's taking forever to sing this song? I was like a half tempo on it. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Man. Ooh, well,
it's
they still had a smile on their face, and I just went through with it.
Yeah. those kind of moments are just I used to beat myself up over those colossal fails on gigs, and it's those are the funniest moments for me. Those are the times. There's another singer, I won't mention her name, but there's another singer we were playing with on a gig, and she she calls, it was for the cocktail hour, and she calls Girl from Ipanema, and she starts singing it in Portuguese. But the father of the bride or something comes up, and he's Brazilian, and he walks up to the front of the stage, right in front of her, and goes, "What language are you singing?" Oh. And she's like, "It's Portuguese," and he's like, "No."
Wow.
And we laughed so hard about that for weeks on end. We were just all the time, "What language are you singing?"
I got one for you, and it goes back to what you're talking about, being prepared. Mm-hmm. I'm on a corporate gig, wedding reception, and there's one song that's not supposed to be played, and they forgot to tell the leader, the girl who was leading us that night. So we go into the song, and the groom comes running in, blood beat red.
Oh no.
Because his bride is crying because she hears the song. Well, the song is a significance in the relationship, because that song reminds the bride of her groom's ex.
Oh no.
So that song was on the no playlist.
Oh God. I've had so many of those kind of things.
The song was Sweet Caroline. The groom's ex name was Caroline.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine we're going, "Sweet Caroline." Bum, bum. No. Don't. No, stop.
You should have just replaced the name.
Right. Sweet Jessica.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. talk
Do the
about
gratuitous your name in the blank here.
Right.
yeah, they got to tell them.
There's
You got a funny. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It reminded me of a funny gig with a singer. I was living in Boston, and I had a gig with Thomas at this bar on Cape Cod, and there was a woman singing, and I went to one rehearsal, and she was there. This was when Minnie Riperton hit was out, Loving You, and it goes up real falsetto, it goes up another octave. But it's like way harder than I do it. And she could do it. She could hit the note. And she was really rehearsing, really worked hard on it. And that night, Muhammad Ali was fighting Ron Lyle. I remember because I was a big Muhammad Ali fan. And still am. But so we're doing that song, and she says, do. She's about to hit that high note, 2 notes, and then Barker comes over right in front of us. We're gonna watch the fight. And he stops her. He stops the band, and she's like, like so disappointed. And the whole band was like, "Oh man, she can hit that note."
That's like her one moment.
Every moment. We're gonna watch the fight.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's awesome. There is
Hey,
one.
Rebecca?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just to say, Rebecca, quick question I've always wondered about singers. I mean, I got to imagine it happens to everybody on stage where there's a moment where all of a sudden you get a little fear or something. And like, I know for me, whenever my anxiety gets up, it like totally affects my breathing. Like as a singer, how do you deal with that? I mean, if something happens in the moment, it just to me as a guy who's very comfortable sitting behind a drum kit, the thought of being out front with nothing between me and the audience absolutely freaking terrifies me.
That's not you. That's, I think, well, it's definitely me, but I think that's most drummers.
Yeah, until you're forced to get out there.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good question. I think it kind of goes back to something Korey alluded to before. I mean, even as prepared as possible, I'll still get nerves. People ask me often, do I still get nervous? Like, typically not really, only, but if I'm having to do something brand new, like if I've never done something, I do get nervous. But the best way for me to just trust that I put in the work, and that there's some sense of comfort in that. And even if I messed up, which I've done that too, on something that was brand new, you just find a way to get through it. You just find a way to, you rely on it. You rely on what you've done, that you've done the work, and somehow that kind of tends to kick in. I don't know.
I got a question for you on the same note then. So when you're in rehearsal, how do you mentally prepare for a crowd? Because in rehearsal there's just the band. Do you actually mentally prepare?
No.
For a crowd, or you just more focused on learning the songs and the arrangement?
Yeah, I'm more focused on that because I feel like if the I don't worry about the crowd if I know that that the band and I sound great, hopefully that we're all in sync and all that stuff, so I worry that the music sounds great because then hopefully the people know what they're coming to see, or
Right.
I want the product to be great,
Yeah, because it made me, him asking you that question made me think, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even think about a crowd when I'm in rehearsal.
Yeah, I don't either, really.
It doesn't even faze me.
Knowing
until there, and then you're depending on the venue, it's like, oh wow, look at this.
I also notice with you, Rebecca, that that when before COVID and all that, like Rebecca works like more than anybody I know, and so it's like when you're put into practice, there is like you're so used to it that
right.
It's probably another reason why you're like you're like you're every time I call, you're like, oh yeah, I'm flying out somewhere, or I'm like playing somewhere, I'm leaving for tour, I'm doing this, and that's so when it's like when you're seasoned, you do it regularly, the nerves kind of are like, yeah, I got this,
Right. Yeah, and that comes with time, I think, really, For sure.
Here's one for everybody. Now that COVID has us shut down, it's like when we go back to work, enjoy each moment.
Right. Right.
Take it for granted, because we have a tendency to take the gigs for granted, and we're so focused on performing and doing our job right, we forget to enjoy the moment, so to speak. Sometimes, a lot of times.
I had the opportunity to play. I've only played like probably 4 or 5 gigs throughout this whole shutdown, and the gigs that I did get to play, it was like such a moment of reflection, I guess you could say, where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the music just sounds and feels so good, and like it's so amazing to feel and hear these vibrations that we've been like, we need this, we need that.
Well, because we were doing it so much, we start taking it for granted.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can't do it, and then we were able, like I did 4 or 5 gigs since the shutdown. It's like, that's why I brought it up. It makes you enjoy it more,
right? Because
we can't do what we love to do, and once it comes back, it's like, wow, I forgot how good it feels.
The first gig back, I was so nervous, and I was like masked up and all that stuff. And the first song we started, it was just like goosebumps up my spine, like chills, like, oh my gosh, man. And one of the things I was taking for granted was, one, also, of course, the playing together with other people, but the hang with the other musicians and laughing and telling jokes. And man, it's like, that has been.
Are you singing?
Yeah. What language are you singing? Yeah. That kind of stuff, those stories. Remember that one time? All that. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's
Oh man. Okay, so I got shut down March 14th. And when I got the call for the first gig, I was so nervous because I'm like, I haven't packed up my gear in so long. It got to the point where I was working so much that everything was just matter of fact. You just boom, 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 boom. You didn't have to think about it. It's like, now I'm like, oh Jesus, did I have this?
I did the same thing.
You know, I was so worried about forgetting something.
I did the same thing. Like, it's muscle memory. You just know how to load your car up or whatever. But I'm like, did I forget my cymbals? Do I got my snare drum? I got my throne, right? Like,
yeah, it's like starting all over. It's like your very first gig.
A hole in my trunk. What's used to be there?
Yeah, it's exactly.
that can feed into one of my. I forgot. I never said like a failure or anything like that. But when I started playing out, like right after high school into college, and like one of my first actual like pro gigs, if you want to call it that, it was actually in the basement of CBGB's because they had like a second. I don't know if you guys
no way.
CBGB's.
Yeah.
But it was in the basement. Even though I say it's the basement of CBGB's, so like people would say that. But like literally my first gig with this band, and I was so excited. I did everything, practice all that stuff, practice in rehearsal rooms, all that stuff, you know. And get to the gig, and drumsticks in hand, everything's ready to go. And they go, okay, cool, it's your turn to set up. Just take your. Yeah, I see the guy before taking off his cymbals and all that stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, no, what? I'm supposed to bring my cymbals?
Oh, they
got you.
That was my first professional gig outside of like church or high school band and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is, oh man,
dude.
But I could have, and then I was so grateful that they actually let me cymbals. Somebody let me cymbals.
Oh, thank goodness. There was a band. Go ahead. I keep cutting.
No, I was just saying that after that, I was like, I could have been like, oh, well, I'm always gonna find cymbals. Someone's gonna have them. But I took it more like all right, this was the dumbest thing I did. Now I gotta prepare and make sure I bring everything. So I have a list, like a dummy checklist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smart.
In and out.
There's a band in like back in the 90s, and so I was playing in a band, and the guitar player was one of the head engineers at Signet in LA. It's not there anymore, but Signet was like the Motown studio, like one of the nicest studios on I think it was on Hollywood Boulevard. And great, I mean, incredible studio. Some of the hits that have come out of that studio were just incredible. And so anyways, there was a band, these kids that were going to go in. They, this guy was heading up like ska music and reggae music and allowing some of the bands that are opening for our band and stuff like that to come in and record. They would pay him some money and book the studio and come in. And, like, this is like the state of the art, like I said, Motown studio. And this band comes from San Diego all the way to LA, and then they show up, and not one person in the band brought one piece of gear. And he said he walked in, he said he had the studio set up, mic set up, lights dimmed, set up so that it was like, you guys are going to have a true studio experience. And so the band walks in like, hey, what's up, man? So where's all the stuff? And he's like, what do you mean where's all the stuff? Where's all the stuff? And they're like, oh, we thought you had it here. No drums, no amps, no guitars, no nothing. We thought you guys provided it. And they're like, he's like, shut it down, and just flip the lights on, put the mics away. It was like, just go home. And they didn't get to record at Signet. It's not even there anymore. They missed their opportunity because they thought it was fully backlined.
I mean, after learning my mistake, I even if I go online and look at the back line of any venue I play, I'll bring everything that I can.
Yeah. I do the same. I had a gig where somebody told me, yeah, everything is there, but something in my body said, no, take your gear. Yeah. Take your gear. So I always take my gear, whether there's a kit there or not, because you never know what kind of shape any of that stuff is in.
My move is I always bring my cymbals, always. I always bring my throne. I always bring my snare stand. So no matter how the kit is, I can work with the kit, but I need it to feel like home. If I have my throne and my normally I bring my kick pedal too, but my throne and my snare stand, I know that your snare stand isn't going to be flimsy. I know your throne, I have to sit really high because I'm tall. And and that's my move. I don't bring my full kit if it's backline, but I'm like, I can work with any kit. You can give me like any kit as long as the bass drum's not moving and all that stuff. I'll tune it up and try my best. But snare stand, snare, throne, I gotta have it. And I have like a emergency bag in my stick bag with like wing nuts for the cymbals, felts,